Hey guys, video number 2. Today I'm going to talk about our first ever sting. Me and Oliver Braid. Right. So Paul Plummer was he was like a he was a fucking musical genius kind of thing. He worked at that centre down in Glasgow, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. A very rich man. I went to his house, I was going to sting him at his front door. The top probably £400,000 house. So me and Oliver, it was the first night me and Oliver actually met in person, and it was only us, there was no security. So I turn up outside the work, and I'm like looking for Oliver, and I see this boy, and I'm like, that's no Oliver, not me, and it turns out it is, and he's like, hello, pussycat, or something like that, and I was like, fuck, not me, like, what if this turns nasty here tonight, you know what I mean? Thinking wrongly, you know what I mean, that Oliver wouldn't have my back or whatever, you know what I mean? I kind of know the difference now. So, we are sitting waiting outside the work for Mr. fucking Plummer to come out of the work with a picture of him. He looked a certain way, and he dressed a certain way, and we decided just to walk round the corner. We walked round the corner and we turned and we were going to walk back round again, when two men are walking towards us, and we let them walk past, and I said to Oliver, what do you think? And he went, Gordon, I'm 96% sure, and I went, I'm about 93%. And we looked at each other, and I says, fuck it, do we go for it? And he went, oh no. See, by the time he died, he was in a motor and he was away. And we thought, fuck, blew our chance. So Oliver went back to talking to him that night, and like we were hoping, you know what I mean, he would agree a meet or whatever. And then he tells us that he's flying out to England, or he's getting a train out in the morning to his man and dad's house in England, and then from there he's flying on to Germany, and he's not due back in Scotland for like a month and a half. So we knew he was leaving at 1 o'clock. Oliver was working, so I had to go myself. So I go down there, and it's like getting close to 1 o'clock, and I said, I knew he finished at 1 o'clock, and I says to myself, there's 3 ways out of this place. Like, what if he goes out another way, gets in a motor, and I post this guy? So I phone the police, and I say to the police, right, blah blah blah, this is what's happening. And they send squad motors, basically, I think with the intentions that I was the one in the rang and I was the one that was going to be lifted. Well, that's the way they were acting to start with. So I explained to the officer on the ground, he didn't know what child grooming was. His sergeant came down, explained to him, he didn't know what child grooming was. He went on the phone to his whatever, you know what I mean, his desk sergeant in Stewart Street. Didn't know what to do basically. And the desk sergeant said, phone the PPU, the Public Protection Unit. So the guy, this sergeant's phoning the PPU, and I'm going, listen, time's ticking down here. And he goes, they phone the PPU through. And right away I hear the PPU. I'm sure to this day it was GB. You know who you are. You're a fucking legend. He goes, what are you waiting for, arrest him? Go in and arrest him and seize his mobile phone. So they've stormed into the Royal Conservatoire and out pops this guy under arrest, all shabby clothes, and I thought to myself, is that guy for last night? Still to this day I don't know if that was Paul Plummer that we walked past that night, because the guy that came out looked totally different, you know what I mean? But anyway, he was taken, he was charged, and he was found guilty, you know what I mean, in a court of law. 18-month banning order and all that kind of shit, or no, he got an 18-month whatever. He was on sex offenders register for so long. He had a BBC profile, let's say, because he was a high-class musician in an orchestra, like one of the people that did the fucking do in front of the orchestra. He was one of the clowns, and he had a BBC page. The very next day, the BBC page was took down. All mention him was took down for the Royal Conservatoire page, you know what I mean? And that's what you get. But that man, right, let's discuss what that man wanted today, now that he's been convicted and that, right? He was talking to a 13-year-old decoy, and he was saying to the 13-year-old decoy, have you any brothers and sisters? And Oliver answered, I've got an 11-year-old brother, my wee brother, he sleeps in another room. And this beast turns around and says, go in and touch your wee brother. And Oliver also says, oh, you wouldn't like that, you know what I mean? The beast turns around and goes, in fact, go and give him a wee suck on his thing. And Oliver said, oh, he definitely wouldn't like that, you know what I mean? That's no nice. And do you know what the dirty, animalistic cretin said? He turned and said, it's not what your wee brother wants, it's about what I want. No, that's a professor, a guy that works teaching, you know what I mean? A guy that for years has flew all about the world teaching music, and he had a really good life, you know what I mean? So how many other veins did that man abuse? How many times did he go in on sites like Grindr and find 13-year-olds, and you know what I mean? Because he had no compassion at all. I mean, he was gone as young as 11 years old. He didn't get any jail time. Now, to say what he said to a 13-year-old is bad enough, but then to say, go in and basically abuse your wee brother, is that no really fucking that's really, really bad. 11-year-old, you know what I mean? That's prepubescent. That's usually you get caught doing that shit, you're going to jail, you know what I mean? But I see Scotland in it, you know what I mean? Beasts get a slap in the wrist, well, there's a war on drugs, you know what I mean? You get caught with a bit of fucking hash up here and you're done, but you get caught noncing away and you get 18 months, 12 months. Our biggest sentence has been 44 months. 44 poxy months. And see that man, that arrogant beast man, Jordan Yardley, he'll go out of jail and he'll either nonce away or they'll kill away. And I'm telling Scotland that, you know. I told the police at the time, I told the court at the time, that man will murder a fucking Wayne in Scotland because he is a dangerous, evil paedophile. The things he wanted that we asked to wear, and right, it's freezing cold. This was a story for another time, but it's -6, -7, deepest snow. Remember the beast with these? The fucking, I remember getting like 7 feet snow. We drove through from Glasgow to Livingston to meet him, right? We're all congregated at a certain bit, and somebody spots him at the what they said was the traffic lights. So I've got this adrenaline rush, I've always had it in me, that I just start charging fucking towards him. I run right past him thinking it's the person at the traffic lights. It wasn't until Big Carol shouted back, God, and I shouted, I fucking turned around and there they had him, you know what I mean? I was like, right, here we go. We walked him round the corner and we were questioning him. He couldn't take his eyes off the decoy mags. Sorry guys if I'm mentioning your names and you don't want your names mentioned, but like, I'm only mentioning people that are already out there. But he kept like staring at mags, and it was like tearing my fucking head in, you know what I mean? It was like, let's just say, I wanted to turn the camera off and I wanted to take him into the woods, you know what I mean? But he wouldn't come back out of the woods, you know what I mean? It wouldn't have been sex we were having, you know what I mean? But it's the first time I've ever walked away and had to take a minute, you know what I mean? I went back and the camera died, and I said to him in no certain terms, listen, don't fucking ever look at my decoy in the eyes again, right? CBD, I'm turning this camera off and it's game on, you know what I mean? The camera goes back on, look, we get somebody else's camera and the camera goes back on. It goes right back to staring right through her, you know what I mean? But Mags is a strong woman, so she's turning around and she says to him, listen, wee thing, stop staring at me, you know what I mean? I'm not a 12-year-old wee lassie. Now, these stairs wanted the wee lassie at 12 years old to travel, I think 30 miles in the conditions, and he wanted her to wear no skirt, a wee tiny skirt and a white blouse, nothing underneath her skirt, and he wanted to take her just across the woods, across the road into the woods next to the stadium, have sex with her, walk her back to the train station, and basically that was it. He was just going to dump her off at the train station. And that's dangerous, right? He goes to court and he gets bailed. You know what I mean? He actually gets bailed for court. So that's strange in my opinion. 2 days later, he's hanging about a primary school, actually in the playground, loitering about, watching, you know what I mean? A couple of parents saw him and gave chase, but he got away. Strangely enough, he was back the third day. This time the parents gave chase and they fucking caught him. Well done, each and every one of you that caught him. He went back up and he was fully remanded, and he pled guilty and he got 44 months to, like, your decoy, you know what I mean? So, fair play to that decoy. Mags, who's for STS now, but a great teamwork again, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about the Wolf Pack. The Wolf Pack were fucking immense. Like, we were so damn good, you know what I mean? But definitely a child killer. He needs watched. He's on a 10-year sex register, right? But like, what is the sex offences register? It's like signing once a week at the police station or some shit like that. I mean, or the post can turn up at your door at any time to look at your mobile phone. How often do the post go to these people's doors? How often do they check? How many phones do the paedophiles have? You know what I mean? It's illegal for them to have a second phone, but how do the police know that they've no one out and bought a phone and registered it to somebody else? You know what I mean? It's like common sense, come on guys. You know what I mean? It shows you that the system's all wrong. You know what I mean? But back to Paul Plummer. Paul Plummer, right? No jail sentence. And I'll be honest with you, for like money, you know what I mean? Like, the guy came for money, my guy had money, you know what I mean? So, he wasn't going to get sentenced by his own, the rich, you know what I mean? So, but he got time when he registered and things like that, you know what I mean? He lost everything, I mean everything. Like, the guy probably can't even get a job as a... The guy probably just can't get a job, you know what I mean? He's probably on the dole, you know what I mean? And I hope he is, you know what I mean? I hope he's signing on and getting what they get, like £47 a week or something. I hope he's waiting for like £4,000, £5,000 a month down to £47 a week. Because that's what he deserves, the fucking scumbag. In fact, he doesn't deserve any help off his state at all. He deserves jail. He should have went to jail. You know what I mean? Oliver done a lot of hard work, put up with a lot of, like, mental trauma, you know what I mean? To ensure we got him a custodial sentence. And to hear that he didn't get a custodial sentence was kind of heartbreaking, you know what I mean? It really was, to be honest. And the time it took, you know what I mean, to get him through court. You know what I mean? Like, we've also got one going through court now. I've sat 9 times from 9:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 9 times. All of us sat there the same amount of time, but 10 times. All of us partly giving evidence. You know what I mean? But this is like a case of 3 years ago, you know what I mean? So, how long is it going to drag on for? You know what I mean? Like, how long do these cases need to drag on for? Because it's times that there could be Waynes in danger. There's times that Waynes could be getting raped by these very men. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point catching a beast and then giving him a trial date 18 months down the line, 2 years down the line. Because what damage can he do in 2 years? You wouldn't give a murderer, right? You wouldn't say a murderer, right? You know, we're going to give you bail, and you're not going to come back to us for 2 years. You're not going to do it to a murderer, so why would you do it to somebody that hurts a vein? It's like a dog bites a vein. What happens to the dog? It gets put down, the poor thing gets put down, you know what I mean? For even a wee nip on a dog, if a dog nips a vein, just a wee nip, it gets put down. But yet a human can like brutalise a fucking youngster and get on to community service or probation, you know what I mean? It's absolutely sickening. It turns my stomach to be real, you know what I mean? We've had a couple of laws changed up here, me, the guys, CPS, you know what I mean, I was with my sister Scotland at the time. We got 2 laws changed, and it was for the betterment of Scottish Waynes, put it that way, you know what I mean? But which I'm going to have to wrap this up, right, but big news that you wanted to hear, right, me, Gordon Buchan, will be appearing on the UK's biggest podcast on the 20th of May. I'll be going down to Liverpool and starring on the podcast. I'm not starring on the podcast because I'm not a fucking star, I'm just a kind of a scheme. But I'll be on the podcast and I'll be telling the truth, you know what I mean? There'll be no hiding shit, you know what I mean? Like, obviously the guy wants to know about my past and all that, so I'll have to be honest. I'll be honest about my past, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, he's all know anyway. You know what I mean? I don't kid on that I'm fucking lighter than light and I saying, you know what I mean? Like, you all know what I would do with these guys if I really could, you know what I mean? So, peace out for the now. One love, one team, one dream. And what is it? End child abuse now. God love you all.